Allyson.
Hi, Teagan.
We're back.
We're back. We're back.
So exciting.
If you guys remember last episode, we're jumping right into it.
When was the last episode?
Last episode was 3 weeks ago. It's been a journey. Welcome. I guess 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks.
It was a while ago.
It was like a month ago. But we're here. We're here now. We're giving you a little bit of an update. There was a lot that's happened since, obviously.
Yep.
But we're going to jump into what we did last episode, which was the brackets for March Madness. And we are almost at the end of April.
We are. It's been a hot minute. We kind of had to dig in our brain to get all the basketball knowledge back.
But we're only covering it because of a vanity thing. Because I have to tell you, I was right.
You were right. Allyson had both the teams right. Me and Mary Margaret had one of the teams right.
Yes.
Because we had Florida Houston as our final. And you had the correct teams.
Yes. But we all collectively agreed that the Gators were going to win.
We did. We all picked the right winner. I had the closest score.
Yes.
I think I had one of the scores right, and then the other I was off by 3. So I was pretty impressed.
Yeah. And then, of course, we switched to women's basketball. And I think you might have said South Carolina.
I did say South Carolina. I'm pretty sure. I had confidence in them.
Yes. I said UConn because I wanted Paige to get her title before.
Of course.
Entering the WNBA draft. Which
Number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. So it's a real great year for her. Great year for us. Our redemption brackets were fantastic.
Yeah.
My original bracket for WMBF was terrible.
That's okay. That's in the past now, you know? We can think about the brackets for other things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But now we're going to look ahead because probably one of our biggest events is coming up on its second year, and it's all sports all the time, Teagan.
It's so much sports. The Myrtle Beach Classic. I'm pretty excited for this. I know that last year it was a learning experience kind of for the both of us, for the whole community, just about having a PGA tournament here, which it took way too long to have one of those in Myrtle Beach, by the way.
The golf capital of the world?
That's what people say, at least, you know.
Golf Town, USA.
Golf Town,
When you leave the Myrtle Beach airport, that's what it says.
It does. It's true. And there are a lot of ads everywhere for golf courses. Anyway, the second annual event, May 8th to 11th, Dunes Golf and Beach Club again. It should be really fun. We don't know the field yet. The queue has already happened, which puts YouTube golfers and, people who have been in the PGA or aspiring to be in the PGA. They compete against each other for one spot in the Classic. That already happened, but they won't release the video until May 5th, I believe. But it's a really cool thing to watch.
It's crazy to think that it was already done, shot, and how are we so good at keeping this under wraps?
Right.
I feel like
it stays secret.
Yeah, I have not a clue. They've come and gone, they've done their thing, and we have to wait another 2 weeks to find out who made it. We had a couple returners, which we were talking about too. First one that always comes to my mind is George Bryan.
Of course, my favorite interviewee.
Hey, George, you listening to this? We're going to come talk to you eventually again.
We are. And then other returners, Fat Perez is playing again from Bob Does Sports.
What a name.
What a name.
I know it's not his real name. His name is Nick or something.
I forget what his real name is.
Committing to that name,
it's fantastic. Oh. Look at us go. But yeah, so speaking of the Myrtle Beach Classic, if you want to learn all about it, Classic Countdown, a special that we've done last year. We're doing it again this year. It takes you through getting the course ready. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to some folks who have played the course. We're still working on it at the time of this recording, but it's going to air May 1st at 7 o'clock. So that'll be super exciting.
Shout out to our producer, Kyle Morton, who worked tirelessly on this project.
He was up at very early hours of the day today to be at the course at 5:30 a.m. to talk to the agronomy folks. That's dedication.
Is that the people who touch the grass?
It's the grounds. They touch the grass.
Honestly, they're so in tune because they touch grass all the time.
I mean, they're growing the rough taller this year. So
they think it was too easy last year?
Yeah, the PGA was like, we actually need taller rough. So.
Is it Mother's Day again, the same weekend?
It is. It's the 8th to the 11th.
So last year when I was out there shooting photos, there was a house on one of the holes, on the other side, not where the spectators could be, but it was a gorgeous house, and it had a huge banner that said,
Was it the White House?
No, I don't think so. It says make sure you call your mom. It's Mother's Day or something like that. It was so funny. I took a picture of it. If I can find that photo, I'll throw it up into the story. But I thought it was so funny because it's like, yeah, it was Mother's Day weekend. And I mean, don't get me wrong. This was like the first like golf event that I'd ever been to. And it's fantastic. It's fun. It really did have a little bit of something for everybody. But like, I doubt there's a ton of moms who want to be out there.
Right. It's like, it's a solid mix of, you know, everybody being like, oh, we're having the golf tournament on Mother's Day weekend. Like all the dads are going to be, you know, at the tournament. And of course, you know, there are a lot of dads and families that are like, we have to go to this thing. But there's also like the LPGA amateur group, which, gosh, I forget how many members they're up to now, but they've got to have at least over 150. Yeah. So, I mean, those mothers and women will be excited to be out there, but I mean, it's great how they do so many events for Mother's Day too.
Well, and they've been doing, like last year they did a lot of like fan events kind of thing, or fan like engagement type things.
Yeah.
Which I think they're doing more of or something. They're revamping it again for year 2 because I mean, year 1 you walk, so year 2 and beyond you can run, you know?
Right. Like for Mother's Day last year, people went out and handed out flowers to all the mothers, and I remember at Media Day, the tournament director, Darren Nelson, was like, yeah, we're going to need like 3 times the amount of flowers this year because they ran out so fast because there were so many people there.
Yeah, and it is a great event, and that runs from Thursday, May 8th through Sunday, May 11th.
But what happens the day before, Allison? On the 7th. It's the Celebrity Pro-Am.
I'm so excited. Thank you, One Flight, for bringing, I'm assuming it's One Flight. It is. It has to be One Flight.
It's their whole roster of people.
Okay, hold on. I just got so excited.
Tell us who's coming.
So, One Flight, Myrtle Beach Classic, that's now how it's branded.
Yes.
Their Pro-Am event is bringing a slew of celebrities, including names like Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell, Bert Kreischer, if y'all are interested in The Machine. But Teagan, you told me this the other day, and I must have, and I'm pulling my microphone.
The look on her face.
I'm pulling my microphone away so little Ash doesn't get mad at me. I did. I screamed because you said, Allison, Candace King is going to be at the Pro-Am. And I kind of looked at you and I thought, why does that name sound so familiar? And then you said TVD. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Caroline Forbes is going to be at the Pro-Am. And I've never been so excited. And you know what? That day.
What is TBD? Because we do have folks that I'm sure don't know the show.
Not a crossover for a lot of people. The Vampire Diaries.
Fantastic show.
If you haven't watched it and you're like, I'm not into young adult TV shows, watch it anyways. I made my husband watch it, and let me tell you, he cried at the last episode.
It's a great show.
Little baby.
The first season is my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like any seasons. This is a spoiler alert. I don't like any seasons after Nina Dobrev.
Oh no, I don't love those either.
Hated the last season. I like the first like 3 seasons. I want the originals to be in it. That's when I get. I have
not seen the originals.
Oh, so good. Elijah from the show.
Yes.
The character.
Yep.
So the actor's name is Daniel Gillis. My little claim to fame there is him and I were born in the same hospital.
I feel like you've told me this before. Yeah.
Even though he's got a New Zealand accent, he was born and raised in New Zealand. His parents were, I think, teachers in Manitoba, and him and I were born in the same hospital, years apart, obviously.
Wow.
Yeah. That's my little claim to fame. But the whole point is, like, these are, like, some huge names. And after you told me that, I thought to myself, what is Caroline Forbes doing at the Myrtle Beach Classic? But I don't know how this is now a promo for entertainment TV. Did you ever read the book We Were Liars?
You asked this in the group chat earlier. No, I have not.
Okay, We Were Liars, fantastic book. I think it's technically young adult or just fiction. Well, they're coming out with a TV show, and the commercials or the trailers came out for it. I keep saying Caroline Forbes. Candace King is in it.
Really?
So this is probably like a really good like promotion kind of.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, you should watch this.
Right.
But also, so Kurt Russell, right? We mentioned that at the beginning.
Yes.
And then Oliver Hudson, which they're connected because Oliver Hudson is Kate Hudson's brother.
I learned this from you the other day. Yes.
And their stepdad, I don't know if they're actually married, but like their mom, Goldie Hawn, has been in a long-term relationship with Kurt Russell.
Wow.
So all I'm saying is, and I'm manifesting this now, is that the entire clan show up and we get Kate Hudson and Goldie Hawn as spectators. I would die peacefully. So
I'm not yawning at you.
And don't get me wrong, because last year I got to meet the Vanna White.
Yes.
And it was kind of funny.
And she'll be back again this year.
Yes. She is like the spokeswoman for like North Myrtle Beach. You drive in 100%. And if
it says like
home of Vanna White.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Funny story, though, about meeting Vanna White last year. I was like the handler, because I was doing photography, I was doing live blogging, but I was also the unofficial handler of our chief meteorologist, Jamie Arnold.
Of course.
His words, not mine. He's like, you just have to make sure I get to where I need to be. And I'm like, okay, fine. He's a pal. Really love the guy.
Yes.
Vanna White walked past us, and I go, Jamie, I think that was Vanna White. He goes, go ask her for a picture. I was like, no, you go ask her for a picture. And me and this grown man were just like standing there uncomfortably far away from her, but like also clearly. And I was like, okay, we got to turn around. I don't remember, because I blacked out. I don't remember who asked her for the photo, but we both got photos. Oh. And I hold that dear to my heart.
I saw Jamie's photo. He is way taller than her in that photo.
She's so petite.
She is shorter.
And I mean, I guess like I thought she was much taller because of the perspective of like the TV.
I mean, and she's wearing heels, and I mean, to be fair, like the board of like words and letters is like bigger. So I guess like just the, I don't know, comparison, you're like, oh, I guess she is taller, but
the depth perception is totally off.
Yes.
Now I'm confused. I want to know what the Wheel of Fortune set looks like.
I know. But
yes, I am so excited for the Pro-Am. I am like, to see those celebrities, my God. I cannot wait. I'm so excited for that. I don't think there's any other big names that came to my mind though.
Not that I can think of at the top of my head from the Pro. I think those were the names that you and I were like, oh my gosh. But yeah, so lots of golf happening in Myrtle Beach as always. Still tickets left for the Myrtle Beach Classic.
Plug the special one more time.
Classic Countdown. Watch May 1st, 7 o'clock. You'll see my face in it. I'll be the redhead. Mary Margaret will also be in it. On WMBF News.
Yes, but all those details too that we just kind of spewed a bunch of information at you guys. So
we
quickly. We have a section on our WMBF News website for the Myrtle Beach Classic, which includes all the names we just mentioned about the Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Also all the the dates, the events that we have so far, information about the queue, about who the competitors or the players are in the field, even though we don't know who won it yet.
Yeah. Different partnerships, like the Horry County students who did like the day learning all about the Myrtle Beach Classic last week or the week before.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of Myrtle Beach Classic content coming up, or there's a lot coming up, and we've already covered a lot. This is true. So check out our website and you can learn more about it.
Heck yeah.
I'm actually really excited.
You know, Allyson, it would not be an episode of Palmetto Playbook without talking about hockey. And if the guy that's listening who said he doesn't like hockey and sent me an email, too bad. We're going to talk about hockey, my guy.
I've actually made it like my life's goal now to try to find a way to talk about hockey every episode. Because you know what? I think it's working. Because first of all, we'll talk about the fact that we are now in NHL playoffs, okay?
Yes.
At the time of this recording, the Carolina Hurricanes, which is like the Carolinas team, is 2-0. Do you know who else is 2-0?
I'm going to go with Allison's team.
The Winnipeg Jets.
Let's go.
I have the Jets winning mine in my bracket. I know you don't have a bracket.
I don't, but that's okay.
But I think it's really exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Maddie B, who was our guest here for a couple episodes ago.
Yes.
Because our teams fall on different sides of the bracket, if it came down to it and like the Hurricanes played the Jets in the Stanley Cup final, I'd be so stressed out, but I'd also be really excited because it's close enough that I could like fly to or drive to Raleigh and watch a game.
That would be really fun.
That'd be so much fun. I kind of hope it doesn't happen though, because I don't want that smoke from Maddie B, because he is a really good trash talker, and it makes me think about it into the night.
Yeah, but if you don't want to drive that far to a hockey game. One day.
This is what I was talking about.
Do we know when this is happening? Tell them what's happening, and then I don't know when it's happening.
So I'm going to continue to talk about hockey, and the reason being is because last week it was announced that Florence is getting a hockey team back. Woo! Pause for applause. Florence Center?
The Florence Center,
The Florence Center announced that they are now getting a Federal Prospects Hockey League, which is a minor league hockey team, but it's not a farm team. So it doesn't, a little bit of a hockey 101 here. It's not a farm team, so it doesn't like sift into major leagues. That's like your ECHL, your AHL, and then to your NHL. It doesn't do that. It's its own independent league. But it's still really exciting because obviously not everyone can make it into the NHL. Not everyone can even make it into farm teams.
Right. But people still love to play hockey. And people love to watch hockey.
Yes, exactly. And so people, when they made this announcement, were at the Florence Center, and you could see that they were wearing PD Pride or Florence Pride merch from when Florence used to have a team. Which I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, and we had to Google it again right before we came onto the show.
Yes.
Florence lost their team in 2004. That was the last time that they had a season, the PD Pride, because they were supposed to become the Myrtle Beach Thunderbolts, which honestly, missed opportunity there.
Yep. And that was the whole story we told on a previous episode where apparently an ice hockey rink was supposed to be built at CCU. And then that plan fell through. And since then, people in Myrtle Beach have been advocating to try to get an ice arena. And yeah, exactly.
And so the PD Pride were an ECHL team. So they were
so they were a farm team.
Yes, they were a farm team. There's another word that people use for it. I call it farm team.
I call it farm team,
okay.
Yeah.
So when the 7,000 seat or whatever arena for Myrtle Beach fell through, they actually had to give the rights back to the Pride. The Pride rights back to the ECHL, and so that's why we don't have a team anymore.
Okay.
But now we get this Federal Prospects Hockey League, and people were excited. So I know we joke about the one man who was like, hey, stop talking about hockey, but there were still people out there that are excited. And it's, you know what? It's not a Southern sport, but it's still something exciting. I forget how much I love hockey until I'm sitting there watching a game, and it could be like a day. A day goes by, I'm like, do I want to watch it? And then I'm watching, and I'm like, oh, yes. I want to see people get absolutely obliterated into the boards. It's like the only sport that you can absolutely abuse somebody and be like, shake hands.
Yeah, it's like, all right, guy, good job.
I think it's great. I love it. I mean, I'm Canadian. It runs in my blood. But yeah, I mean, people are excited about it, and I think it's fantastic. And they did officially sign their first player, which was announced during the unveiling
press conference. Yeah,
his name is Kevin Sazbad. I probably butchered his last name.
We don't know. That's okay. They have the player.
But can you imagine how big of a flex that is?
Right? Like, I'm the first player.
I was the first player. I'm your savior.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I'm excited to see what the roster looks like, what kind of players or where they pull these players from.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if any have any experience with the ECHL or AHL or any of that, or the NHL. I don't know. You never know.
Or and we're thinking of college kids too, right? Who are now, they maybe had a professional tryout with an AHL or ECHL, whatever, and then they didn't make it, but they still want to play, and maybe this is closer to home now, right?
Right.
I am still digging. I still want to learn more about what this league is like, what the pay is like, what the what is it kind of thing. Because I did look. There's quite a few teams. I was again weary because obviously a couple weeks before we found out about them, we also found out that the Florence Center cut ties with correct me if I'm wrong, was it Arena League?
Arena football team.
Arena football team, which ended up allegedly being a hoax.
Yeah.
Not a hoax, that's a bad word. It's
that was a whole...
It's like fraud or something.
Thing. Yeah. I don't know. But they're getting hockey, which is the important part to us.
Exactly.
And then also, we talked about, back in the day it was the PD Pride, and now Florence is getting this team, but we haven't mentioned a team name yet because they don't have one at the moment. But they're asking the community to come up with some ideas.
And I think that's fantastic, and that's a fantastic way to get people interested if you have a say in it.
It makes you invested in the team. Imagine if your name is picked and you're like, I came up with that.
So my experience with this is the University of North Dakota was one of the colleges who had a Native American name. They were the Fighting Sioux for a very long time. And then during the whole, was it the Seminoles? No, because...
The Redskins? Was it during that?
The Redskins. But there was the whole idea at the time where we were essentially like, okay, well, we shouldn't be using names that are offensive,
Yeah.
which is valid. Or if you're not at least paying to, I think, because the Seminoles, FSU Seminoles, like, pay to a tribe.
Right, and, like, some of them have permission from tribes. Like, in New York, there are certain teams that have, you know, permission and that stuff.
So UND took the route to get renamed, okay? They had options, and I think, like, the Sundogs was one of them.
Fun.
Maybe the Green Wave, the Rough Riders.
Isn't Tulane the Green Wave?
The Mean Green?
There's something like that. Oh, no.
Sorry.
I'll cover her coughing with talking.
There we go. But the idea there, and what we are now is the Fighting Hawks, okay?
Right.
The idea there was that they were, like, giving people the opportunity to be named something, and it did feel nice to, like, get that option to vote, and people did vote for the Fighting Hawks, but the downside was when it came to picking a logo, they didn't listen to people, and they picked something that everyone iconically calls the USPS logo.
You've shown me this.
It does look like the USPS
it does.
logo, but in green. So I think this is a great opportunity for them to reach out to the community, develop that relationship, and then, okay, now you have a name, start a logo creation contest.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting free content.
That's true.
I'm sure you're signing a contract that says, hey, you give us permission to use this, and you get nothing except for the glory of knowing that you made this.
Right.
And then again, like, then you said, like, that one person could have a whole family of people now want to buy all that merch because they made that design.
Exactly.
But I yield the question to you, and I know we can talk about it. We don't have to have, like, a specific name. But, like, if you were to name this team, what would you name them?
All right. So a couple weeks ago, I learned about a university in Maryland where their mascot
I think I know this one.
is, do you know what?
You told me.
They're the Golden Retrievers. Yeah. And I think that is adorable. I think everybody would want to buy, like, merch with that on it. So I want something that's not like, you know, like, the Warriors, we want to sound scary. I want something that, like, everybody is going to think, oh my gosh, I love that so much. I will buy merch with that on it. Heck, I'll be the Florence Golden Retrievers, or, like, the Florence Labradors. I don't know.
Yes.
I want a dog. Honestly, I want a dog.
Okay, so I want them to take the collegiate summer league baseball route.
Oh, like the Y'alls?
Well, just like something like completely out of pocket. And I always bring up, I picked up my phone if anyone's watching. I was picking up my phone because I was doing something. The Danville Collegiate League baseball team, I don't want to spoil the name yet, had a name. It was like a previous name. Like, it was like a promotional name. And then they ended up sticking to
like
it.
For certain, like baseball teams will do that with certain games. Like Syracuse changes their name to a Spanish word, like during different games that I can't remember what they are. But
I used to work for the Bismarck Larks, and they renamed themselves the Missouri River. I think it's Missouri Valley Motorboaters. And I thought it was hilarious. The logo
awesome.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
And, like, it did exactly what it was intended to do. So many people bought the merch. People were, like, eating it up. It was fantastic.
Right.
But Danville, they have they're the Danville Otterbots, but
Otterbots?
Yes, but they changed their name to
Can I see the picture?
Yeah, I'll show you in a second.
Oh, okay.
They changed their name to the Danville Dairy Daddies.
No way.
I kid you not. Let me show you. Okay, the Danville Dairy Daddies. I don't know. I'll see if I can get a picture of this up.
I don't have words.
But they made it's a thirst trap cartoon.
It is.
And
he has abs. He's a cow.
A cow with like a really big belt buckle, and it has like DD, like Dairy Daddies, and he's like leaning on a bat with his legs crossed. I'm doing great at identifying
That's great. It's fantastic. We need something like that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So like because it's obviously we're not a farm team, so we don't have to worry about offending the major league team, right?
Right.
And then people have fun with it. Yep. So Florence, I know. So the Florence Collegiate League baseball team, I think they're the Flamingos.
They're the Flamingos, yes. Exactly.
But like, I don't know, something fun. Like, I like the idea of the PD Pride because, first of all, then it's the PD. It kind of includes more counties, and then
the PD Pitbulls.
Yeah, I approve of PD Pride as like a throwback night, because then you're creating more content or more merchandise that people can buy and feel like they didn't miss out on that time. And then it also gives people, like, I have an old Winnipeg Jets jersey from the original era that I love wearing, but I also still like to buy the new merch and the heritage merch and like all the different stuff. So I would like to keep it as PD instead of Florence.
You know what, I agree. Yeah.
The PD Puxatawny Phils. I'm kidding.
She's not kidding.
Not really. I'm not kidding if you like it.
I mean, imagine the logo.
Or like instead of PD, like the Palmetto.
I feel like there are too many things called Palmetto.
I know, but like that's essentially the whole state, right?
It is. I don't know. We'll see.
The PD. I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't come up with a good name like off the top of the dome because
I couldn't either. I was struggling.
Pitbulls is a good one, but they're a little bit too aggressive.
Pitbulls.
You need something a little.
It can be a Pitbull puppies.
The PD
puppies.
Oh, puppies. Pomeranian. We are in the dog head. Like we're just
we are. I
got that dog in you.
We need more dogs. David Bennett. Anybody?
No.
His former Coastal coach. He had that viral moment of, we don't need cats. Meow, we need more dogs. I interviewed him a couple years ago. Anyway.
Did you really?
I did in California at the UCLA game.
Oh, that was not very long ago.
No, I'll have to show you the video of him going viral. It's funny. But anyways.
But that's the whole fun of this, is that we get to brainstorm whatever we want. We could sit here for hours, but you don't want to hear that.
Okay.
We could sit here and just brainstorm, and that's what we want you to do. That's what they want you to do.
Right.
And so if you have a name that you can think of for the team, head over to WMBFnews.com. We have that story linked on our website.
We do.
Of where you can go to make the name, some suggestions. I know that I clipped the newscast for that story, so I know that some of our anchors made suggestions. It's fun. I think step outside the box. Like Palmetto alligators, Palmetto crocodiles. Do we have crocodiles? Who has crocodiles? Australia?
Florida?
No.
Are they just alligators? I don't know.
Whole point is you get to sit here and have that discussion with your friends about what team name you want for the team.
Exactly.
And honestly, I'm excited to see what the roster looks like. I'm excited to where they pull people from, because I told you this. I looked up Kevin Sazbad's Elite Prospects page, and it says he's from Hungary and he's played hockey overseas. So I'm really interested to see where we're pulling them from, because playing overseas, like I know some UND players who are currently playing in an Irish league.
What?
Yes.
Didn't even know there was a thing.
They live in Dublin, which is like honestly the life.
That's great. Those are my people.
I know, and I know a lot of people end up usually like playing for like Russian leagues or Finnish league, like Danish or Finnish, that area. What do you call that area? Scandinavian leagues.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You're right.
German leagues.
I know a lot of basketball players that play over there. Yeah.
And so I had no idea that like the UK had a league.
I didn't either. But learn something new every day.
So if we can just like pull some people from over there, but I mean, how do you pull? Like, I want to know what they're getting paid. Moral of the story is, guys, we are working to get an interview with the owner. His first name's Parker, last name's escaping me, and Kevin. Parker and Kevin. Because we want to know more, and we want to bring you more details about this. But yeah, that's exciting. I know that was like a wrap question, but I'm also going to throw it there because we mentioned Maddie B. Maddie B's cousin entered the transfer portal, so he's no longer going to be at CCU.
Oh, Alex Walker.
So Alex Walker, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your one snap in the bowl game.
But you've also been the center of a lot of conversations here on this podcast.
It's true. You have.
Yeah, we're excited to see where you end up.
One snap, many conversations.
Priceless. Absolutely.
They are. Thank you.
But yeah, I mentioned to you at the very beginning, I said this is our Sabrina Carpenter episode. It's very short and sweet.
It is.
So we'll catch you next time with more on, we have CCU baseball on the horizon, CCU softball, the Myrtle Beach Classic. We are going to tell you who won the Q.
The NFL draft is going to happen before this podcast comes out, but that's okay. It hasn't happened yet.
We're going to find out if I get kicked out of the Myrtle Beach Classic for trying to get up close and personal with Candace King.
Well,
just kidding. For anybody listening.
Yeah, don't
for legal purposes.
Legal purposes.
I'm joking. But I would also like to see if Bert Kreischer takes his shirt off.
On that note,
We'll catch you next time, guys.